So the first thing for me was it was always in my life that I always wanted to be in the film industry. Yeah. So when I left school, and this goes back to what we were saying while we done the film festival and all of that, wasn't that connection. Yeah. So originally it was because I wanted to be a director. So I thought, right, how's the best way to be a director? Don't know any writers. Started writing. Yeah, and that was it. That's how I started. And then eventually you realise that that is actually an enjoyable and creative outlet. And the more you learn about the craft, the more you get into it, and that's what spurs it on. So yeah, so I would say originally curiosity, and then the experience of actually writing actually led to me enjoying it and doing it even more. In the film work,
Yeah.
so that was again, it's pretty much the same answer. However, what I was saying was I was working. I mean, we said this before the camera was rolling, but I was working in a 9 to 5 and quite bored, quite frustrated, wanted to be part of the film industry. So we went out and we made a load of rubbish films, and they gradually got better. And then eventually you get more and more in the film industry. You network with the right people, and then comes the day when you have to decide, right, you're going to be a part-time filmmaker or you're going to be a full-time filmmaker. And that's how it started, really. It was literally just doing it at an amateur level, keep going, and then eventually one day you wake up and you're a filmmaker, and that's it, really. My writing.
Yeah.
Right, so Martin McDonagh, who's been very praised this morning at the BAFTAs, obviously, with his BAFTA nomination for 3 billboards. That type of writing, originally, when I was around 16, it would have been the Quentin Tarantino's, that kind of new style of writing. Yeah, a lot dialogue heavy and all that. That obviously eventually went on to the Coen brothers, but I would say more recently it would be people like Martin McDonagh. We'll probably say, who else would we say? Christopher Nolan to an extent with his topics, but not that sci-fi heavy.
Yeah. But
Always drama. It's what I find most interesting. It's what I like doing. I like following characters through. I mean, again, I know this is obvious, but characters are the most important part of the story. And in drama, you can really take them on a journey.
yeah.
So that has always been sort of my favourite. That's it goes back to what I like watching as well, and the characters I want to see on screen. So. The script, yeah, without a doubt. I think it was Hitchcock that said it originally. All you need is a good script, and a good script, and it goes back to every part of the process is really, really important. Yeah, everything has to be top of its game to make a great film. So if you start off with a bad script before you've even done any pre-production, then the film's going to be no good. Yeah, it's that attention and care has to start there, and it's. I mean, I think I said the analogy of building a house when I last spoke to you guys.
Yeah.
If the blueprints are rubbish, then the whole house is going to be rubbish and falling down. Yeah, and it's the same with the script. So the most important part is you got to have a good story. What we all are is storytellers, right? So if you haven't got a good story, it's pointless. Process. So for me, it is what's the story we're trying to tell? What are the themes we're going to add? Yeah, that is the first and fundamental thing. Again, as I said in my last speech with you guys, what is it you're trying to do? You're trying to tell a story. So when you're approaching a new project, what story you're trying to tell? If you keep on along that lines, then everything should always be quite easy from then on. Then obviously we will put the beat sheet out. We'll go through the treatment, and then we'll try and get our first draft from there. And then after probably about 20 drafts of that being no good and the red pen coming out, then you finally get to tell that original story you wanted to tell. But again, these are all basic tips. But I'll always start with a log line, and that log line is what is the story you're telling. And if you ever get confused, if you ever go back to the log line and say, right, what was we trying to tell here? I mean, as I said, if a dinosaur turns up in the middle of your drama, something's gone wrong in that process, right? And it's not the original story you're trying to tell. All of them, yeah, and I still make mistakes daily, and that's the only way you get better. I've made mistakes from bad in filmmaking, from bad sounds to bad, lighting, everything. Don't make them anymore because I've learned from them. Yeah, that's the thing. So go out and make the mistakes. In terms of writing, yeah, I mean, you still say, okay, maybe I could have developed that character better. Maybe I could have done that better. Maybe I didn't hit the beats right. Maybe it was too long. Maybe I overspoke. But once you start making those mistakes and people start highlighting them, or you see it in your own work, then you don't, make them again. But that'd be my advice to any screenwriter, any filmmaker: make the mistakes. Yeah. If you go out and write the perfect script tomorrow, yeah, but you're not going to learn anything from that, are you? It's if everyone goes, yeah, film was perfect, you haven't learned anything. It's and then you may not be able to do it again. That might have been a total fluke. Maybe it wouldn't have been, but well, again, read scripts is the most important thing. Yeah, go out and get the films you love, the screenplays you love. Go get them, download them, and just read them. See how they're structured. See what they're doing right. That is the most important thing. If you're going to be a screenwriter, know how people do it. Yeah, do that. Good books would be Save the Cat, Seinfeld's book, screenwriting. Read them, and then once you got them, again, just go out and do it and do it and do it. Make mistakes over and over again, and then, as I said, if it's going wrong, go back to your log line and go from there. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, comedy scares the hell out of me, to be honest, because, it's
I'm the
hard,
same.
right? It's, like,
Get people to laugh at what you say as
yeah, and especially, no, if it's a bad comedy, that's going to be remembered as a bad comedy then, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I think there is that stereotyping, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. If there's a drama film out there, and someone wants to make a drama film and they need a writer director,
Yeah.
I would rather get that than somebody who's made a load of comedy films.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
I write drama and horror.
drama and horror. So
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. So if somebody went and got a horror gig over you,
Yeah.
you'd be like, okay, well, they don't really write. So stereotyping ain't actually a bad thing,
Yeah.
because it is perfecting an art. And if you can perfect an art, if you can become the best drama horror writer, that's better than being a mediocre writer at any other at all, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So I don't think stereotyping's a bad thing. I really don't, especially in what we do. I mean, obviously, I don't want to say go out and stereotype everybody, but I don't think in what we do, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Again, go out, make your own content, make the mistakes, and go from there. No one's going to offer you a job and off the back of you doing nothing. You got to go out and prove you can do it, like you can with any job in the world. This is no different. So yeah, go out, make the mistakes, network, and and then you'll be all set.
Thank you very much.
But
Yeah.